Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another R.O.R.K video. Uh, on my socials, I also appear as Kenyan Therapy. So, R.O.R.K is the main YouTube channel. Kenyan Therapy is where we push the game. Alright. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Kenya, guys. Those are the ambient sounds. One take, sure, you already know how we do it. So essentially, the I don't even know if you can hear it, but yeah. So yeah, there's that. So essentially, hi everyone. My name doesn't really matter, but my age is 28, and as you can tell, I'm a black latita. So what I've built this channel for, or what I plan on the message being passed on this channel, is essentially just do you guys. That's the secret. There's a lot of suicide. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah, there's a lot of that. Guys sending themselves to the upper room, the gulag. Yeah. They'll have to pick a new skin. I don't know. Me, I'm not trying to go through class 8 again. Uh, in multiple meanings of that. You know. So essentially, yeah, but I don't know. You guys got the snip, bruh. But me, I'm Jewish by circumcision. That's what I always tell guys. And we have the lucky number 7, the JD. So yeah. So just do you. That's a little bit of an intro. I've realized I haven't really introduced myself on the channel. So yeah. So that's me. Uh, that's the game. That's the goal. I don't know if there's really a goal or anything. Oh, wait 1 second. One take shot, no cut, just a quick pause. But yeah, uh, I don't know. Is it considered one take if you pause but you don't leave the recording? I don't know. So yeah. Uh, oh, sorry. So essentially, today's video is not really much about the cards. I'll just put it something for you all to look at while I talk. But these cards I got to keep on. I plan on keeping them sealed. Yeah, I think those are some of the background photos. Again, really lovely place. The JD. Yeah, actually, I can open this. I kind of ripped it by mistake. Let's see if we can open it gently using my Ray-Ban. My Ray-Ban. Yep, my Ray-Ban. So, actually, the story of how I got these is interesting. Actually, most of my collection, since I'm so obsessed with collecting very random things, the way I got some of these things, as you can see, it's a really dope box. Back has not. Oh, the hand swords. Yeah, so actually bought this off the lady selling the booze. I hit her with one of those. You don't have to buy a barrel to get these fucking cards. You know. So really nice, really nice. So it's just your standard cards, yeah, la di da. But the cool thing about this, and of course, if you can guess, they have the JD backing, but two jokers, same color. This causes a bit of a trick once the show is started. So essentially, the cards are all the same, except, see if we can find it, except for the gentleman jack. Yeah, the gentleman jack. You already know. Oh, I can't find the others. Okay, yeah, you already know. You get the gist. You get the gist. So we have gentleman jack over there. Oh, don't mind the nails. So yeah. So essentially, I just want to kind of tell guys like, why are we pushing for certain things? Why are we fighting certain fights that are not meant to be fought? And if you look at kind of the history, yeah, those are the one cards. And if you look at the history, we don't normally get, the good end of the stick, and that's where most guys is, issue comes from. So, I don't know where that issue now comes from because oh, screen going crazy. I don't know where that issue comes from because why are we kind of fighting for? We're fighting other people's fights, and if you look at it, we only kill each other. You know, everyone kills us. Everyone gets us out of it. If you look at the black race, it's genetically superior in every way. You know, the the reason most people kind of despise black people and kind of underlook them and overlook them, I don't know, is kind of because the bond. As black guys, we don't really build that bond. And I've noticed out here, y'all niggas just doing some gay shit regardless. So you guys are bonding in like gay ways. And then when you're caught doing some gay shit, you kill the gay. Bruh, it doesn't matter if you touch your toes with Boise. Just chill. you know, what the fuck? Anyway, I'm saying all that to say this. We need to look at the end, the means to an end. You know, we have to look at where we're going from here. I've reached like childbearing age, but the reason most people can't do it, and most black people especially are not doing it, at least that's all the people I can speak on. One is safety, the other one is security. Like people are not sure that they'll even survive. People are not sure they'll be able to fund all this. People are not sure if they'll be able to carry on to the next, stages. Now, now let me talk from an African perspective, or more so a Kenyan perspective. Oh, sorry, because that's more of what I know. That's all I've known for the most part. But if you look at how it has been, we've been opened up to through via the internet. You see, we have more access to knowledge, and we can now unify properly. In Kenya, we have, is it 47 tribes or some shit? I don't know, man. I don't know. So we have like a bunch of tribes, but the country still works. You see, people have learned how to kind of put certain things aside, leave certain places to this, and just keep moving forward. The black Americans now, that's why they keep saying, I am not a nigger. You see, because they now say niggers do nigger shit, which is like, wilding out, shooting up a club for no reason, Okay, not for no reason, but just because someone stepped on your shoes or someone looked at you funny. But when you know when another race does that shit to us, you take it on the chin. But when me I do it to you, now you're catching feelings. Nah, nah, nah. If you're going to be a bitch throughout. Don't start misbehaving. Eh? But you can also learn how to switch it up. You know, you can stay switching also. You can know when to activate what side and at what thing deserves certain reactions. Personally, for me, as a guy who has grown up in Africa, Kenya, whatever, uh, when I'm called, if I were to be called a nigger, I wouldn't react. You see, because for me, personally, I don't know what that is. Now, that being said, the people kind of who are there now as well, the people who can react in a certain way, you know, also haven't kind of really undergone that. Now, I don't mean like you haven't undergone racism, but I mean like slavery, you know, because that's where it all stems down to. It all boils down to that for them, you know, at least that's what I think. I know guys will go off like that. So essentially, that's what even others say, you know. You aren't a slave, so why you whatever, you know. But if the check comes, guys want to be paid. That one I understand, you know. But I don't see these guys paying you guys. And like most people have said, once they pay you guys, you'll just go buy a car, you know, just waste the money. Then you're back in the system. So it's okay. You're allowed to do that. No one really cares. You know, it's your life. You do whatever you want. But that is what we call niggatry. You see, Ni- the problem is niggerism. That's the real problem. Shout out to CGA, you know, the free agent lifestyle, man. So, if you look at certain black creators on YouTube, you'll pick up the necessary traits. And again, not everything you see is real, and not everything you see is fake. I always use the example of wrestling. Wrestling is, you know, staged. But if someone gets bumped on the nose, yeah, they'll bleed. You know, it can be staged blood or it can be real blood. You never really know until the situation is there. So that's what I'm really trying to say. So the reason I really like games is because video games taught me that, you know, they taught me a lot. Like some shit can be real, some shit can be fake. There's a point you can play a whole game, and then at some point they're like, "Yeah, wake up, you're in a whole simulation, la di da. Now let's get the game going." I'm like, eh, like what the fuck, you know? If you look at games just as games, then you don't see what games are. A video game is a simulated reality, virtual reality, you know, all these things, augmented reality. You see, from childhood, and the reason I think things are crazy now is because of the internet. You know, as Kenyans, when I see our older folk, I'm like, guys, you guys are like warriors, you know. And not even in the Mau Mau type ish. I debunked the Mau Mau. I demystified the ish. Actually, yeah, I demystified a lot of things personally, like mental, for my own mental sanity. Which is also why I created the channel because I want us to kind of open up. I almost offed myself like 3,000 times, like very many times. Of course, they say when you don't do it, you're a bitch, but you know, you have to think about it. Also, if you do it, you're kind of a bitch because you've kind of chosen the easy way out. You know, you're like, fuck it, let me just, let me not fight. Let me just, you know. It's like video games, bruh. If you've played a battle royale game, if you get a very stupid teammate, you're like, bruh, what the fuck? Like, if you get a teammate who's just running off on the side, you get a teammate who's just standing there. Sometimes you can have a very good match without them. Sometimes you get an even better match with them. You know, sometimes people change along the way, except that Carla. So yeah, so all I'm saying is we kind of need to switch up the conversation, and that's why I like feminism and also hate it at the same time. Oh, but that's neither here nor there, because if you see how the women were able to band together and they just got freed, what, 30, 40 years ago. You know, this show just got bank accounts the other day, and they're already making millions in, by 18. You see, because guys are starving. You know, I'm one of them. Mondays, I'm one of them. I'm starving. I'm not trying to be, a monk. I'm not trying to not fuck. I need to fuck. The fuck, you know. Everyone needs to fuck. That's what I've learned. You, if you watch the previous video, I just saw my mom's magazines, and it's Oprah Winfrey teaching, Shorties how to be, let loose, cosmopolitan, Everyone has been wanting to fuck. So these Shorties, once they were released, they just flooded all the Shorties with all the information they needed. And now they're billionaires by 20. But men are suffering. And men are even, anyway, I won't talk about men in general. Me, I'm trying to talk about black men. In fact, I'm not even trying to talk about black men in general. I'm trying to talk about African men. In fact, I'm not trying to talk to African men in general. I'm trying to talk about Kenyan men. If you fix the leak from the top of the pipe where it's leaking, that's cool. But if you find the source of the leak, what made this thing get like this? Okay, I don't know if that was a good analogy. But you know what I mean. You know, if you don't fix the problem and you just patch it up, you leave the problem for another generation. You see, people nowadays are like, yo, guys, people are not even giving birth. Guys are like, yo, man, there's no need. People are being, our parents are being pulled out of retirement, bro. Our others can't even retire. It's tough. It's tough. And these are guys who have been working for years. Now, I'm a hard worker, guys. You see, I believe in the system where you work hard and you get the job done. No, okay, yeah. Those are some of the things I pose for. But just so you know. So essentially, I've even lost my train of thought. Fuck. But yeah, so essentially, I'm a hard worker and I get the job done. But if I'm going to get the job done, I need to kind of outline what the plan is. You see, I'm not going to wake up and go to, an office and then, I do one, two, three for some, I don't know, just some weird jobs, which is kind of like American jobs, in Africa, yes, there's a bit of, in Africa, there's everything, guys. If you've seen the I Show Speed stuff, yeah, in Africa, there's everything, man. It's just that Personally, if you kind of join that rat race, you're not going to win. You're not going to win, bro. Because if you look at what the Kenyan shilling can buy for you as compared to what the dollar buys for you, like the value for money, that's why many people have come into Kenya because in Kenya we value our currency as it is. But now, you see, once the conversion thing kicks in, things are different. You see, the game changes. That's why South Africa is able to, be like the way they are, because that's how the white people have kind of designed it there. So essentially, if you look at why they I don't know, I've hit a bit of the zar, so yeah. Essentially, now, unless I'm being told not to speak by my ancestors. Yeah, sometimes we need to take those hints, bro. She. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say this. No one has the answer, but we can all figure out the right way to solve it. You know, I don't know how to plant a potato, but I know how to, shoot up a club. My efforts are valued somewhere, so I need to get in where I fit in. And that's all. That's all that will help us as black guys for now, as Kenyan men for now. We can talk about shores, because as I told you guys, but we have to fuck, we have to kube. Kube chidongo. We have to touch some toes at the end of the day. And the only way we'll get to that reality is if we kind of compartmentalize. If you just lock in, tell yourself, let me do this for this for this. If I wake up today, I'll get this, I'll get that. The reason most of us now, you guys are saying, oh, black men are lazy, la di da, is because you guys have figured out, like, if you do this, nothing matters. I might be jailed, locked up, jailed, locked up. I might be shot, just some random mistreatment all across the board. One of the reasons I've done this is because, and I talk like this is because in Kenya, where it's supposed to be like the birthplace, where it's Africa, fuck even birthplace. This is supposed to be Africa, and you'd still undergo a bit of racism. you know, if you go to the right places, you'll experience some good racism. Because personally, I've been able to experience multiple sides of the spectrum. And I already know once once I go to this side and I say this, once I'm able to branch into this group and I do this, I'll be able to hang around with them, but they won't respect me. At the end of the day, they won't respect you. You see, that's what I've realized. So I've elevated myself to places where black guys normally don't get to. You see, I've elevated myself to points where even just, in not black guys, but in Kenya it's different. Where you can be born into certain things. So I'm not saying I was born into anything. Relax. I'm just saying, like, if you look into it, in Africa, especially like now, most of us are okay. You know, most of us are okay. But it's just that we're trying to chase this other system. If we build the African system, things will be able to work from there. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is we need to get Africa home. That's all. once you're able to form like it's formidified, nah, formidified. That's solidified. Nah. Anyway, guys, we will be here, man. We're here. We're here to talk. Drop comments, please. Like, share. Let me know. Drop some subbies as well. Again, I'm here to talk about difficult things, guys. Uh, I'm here to talk about the things people don't want to talk about. Because here's where we'll go. At the end of the day, this is what will happen. And you can see me, I'm rapidly going there. Anyway, so guys, don't let's not waste time, man. Because if you look at it, the world will end before we've enjoyed half the things these guys have enjoyed off of our backs. You see? So if we don't wake up early, the party will be over before it starts for us. Yeah, and I've seen it myself because some people have lost, come back, in and out of the game, while the same players are just there shuffling their feet. Nigga, wake the fuck up, bruh. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. Catch y'all later.